Mehmed IV Modern Turkish Mehmet, Ottoman Turkish, Mehmed-i rābi, also known as Avcı Mehmed, Mehmed the Hunter, January 2, 1642, January 6, 1693, was the Sultan of the Ottoman Empire from 1648 to 1687. Taking the throne at age 6, his reign was significant as he changed the nature of the Sultan's position forever by giving up most of his executive power to his Grand Vizier. Born at Topkapı Palace, Constantinople, in 1642, he was the son of Sultan Ibrahim, 1615–48, by Valide Sultan Turhan Hatice, a Ruthenian, Ukrainian, concubine, and the grandson of Kösem Sultan of Greek origin. Soon after his birth, his father and the mother quarreled, and Ibrahim was so enraged that he tore Mehmed from his mother's arms and flung the infant into a cistern. Fortunately, Mehmed was rescued by the harem servants. His father's actions resulted in Mehmed cutting his head, which left him with a lifelong scar. Mehmed ascended to the throne in 1648 at the age of only 6. His ascension marked the end of a very volatile time for the Ottoman dynasty. There had been a Mustafa deposed twice and 2 sultans killed, including Mehmed's father and predecessor, Ibrahim. Sultan Mehmed IV was known as Avcı, the Hunter, as this outdoor exercise took up much of his time. His reign is notable for a brief revival of Ottoman fortunes led by the Grand Vizier Mehmed Korkulu and his son Fazıl Ahmet. They regained the Aegean Islands from Venice and Crete during the Cretan War, 1645–1669. They also fought successful campaigns against Transylvania, 1664, and Poland, 1670–1674. At one point, when Mehmed IV allied himself with Petro Doroshenko, Ottoman rule was close to extending into Podolia and Ukraine. See reply of the Zaporozhian Cossacks for his correspondence with the Cossacks. A later vizier, Kara Mustafa, was less able. Supporting the 1683 Hungarian uprising of Meḥmed-i against Austrian rule, Kara Mustafa marched a vast army through Hungary and besieged Vienna at the Battle of Vienna. On the Kahlenberg Heights, the Ottomans suffered a catastrophic rout by Polish forces famously led by their king, John III Sobieski, 1674–96, and his Holy League allies, notably the Imperial Army. But on September 12, 1683, the Austrians and their Polish allies under King Jan Sobieski took advantage of dissent within the Turkish military command and poor disposition of his troops, winning the Battle of Vienna with a devastating flank attack led by Sobieski's Polish cavalry. The Turks retreated into Hungary. However, this was only the beginning of the Great Ottoman War, as the armies of the Holy League began their long, but successful campaign to push back the Ottomans to the Balkans. Later life and death. In 1687 he was deposed by the combined forces of Yeğen Osman and the Janissaries. Mehmed then was imprisoned in Topkapı Palace. However, he was permitted to leave the palace from time to time, as he died in Edirne Palace in 1693. He was buried in Turhan Hatice Sultan's tomb, near his mother's mosque in Constantinople. Just before he died in 1691, a plot was discovered in which the senior clerics of the empire planned to reinstate Mehmed on the throne in response to the ill health of his successor, Suleiman II. His favorite harem girl was Ametullah Rabia Gulnaz Sultan, who was a slave girl and his later wife taken prisoner at Ruthenian, Turkish Rizmo, in the island of Crete. Their 2 sons, Mustafa II and Ahmed III, became Ottoman sultans during 1695–1703, and 1703–1730, respectively. Purported exchange with Cossacks. An incident during Mehmed IV's reign is remembered mainly in Ukraine and Russia. The Zaporozhian Cossacks defeated Ottoman forces in the field and refused the Sultan's demand to submit, answering him with a letter full of insults and profanities. This response is commemorated in the famous late 19th century painting Reply of the Zaporozhian Cossacks by the Russian painter Ilya Repin. In 1658 Mehmed IV received and patiently listened to the English Quaker preacher Mary Fisher, who believed she was sent by God to speak to him. The meeting is known mainly from Fisher's own very favorable account. See Mary Fisher, rather than from Ottoman sources, so that it is not known precisely what the Sultan made of her message, which was relayed to him in translation.